Psalm 109 is a prayer of a very, very angry person who's been hurt by the people that are closest to him. My name is Gray. I'm going through the book of Psalms, and we're looking at the Psalm 107, and it's a Psalm of David. And David at this point is really angry and is crying out to God because people have been speaking lies against him. Now, some scholars say it was Ahithophel at the time when Absalom tried to take over the throne from his father. Ahithophel was David's closest advisor, and he switched ranks and started going to help Absalom. Now, some also say that this is also a reflection of what Jesus went through with Judas Iscariot, that one who was closest to him did all of this. And especially when you look at verse 8, the second part of verse 8 says, may another take his place of leadership. Now, if you recall in the book of Acts, that's what Simon Peter said when they drew lots to choose Judas Iscariot's replacement. So that's the background on this, but let's jump in and see what David is saying. That's the background. But so he starts, he says, my God, whom I praise, do not remain silent. Now, he knows that there are times when he's prayed and God has remained silent, but he says, this time, Lord God, I really, really need you. And he goes on to explain that because there are people that are wicked and deceitful and are speaking bad against him, and it's hurting him with words of hatred. They surround me, they attack me without cause. So he's saying, I haven't done anything wrong, but there's saying so many things, bad things to me. And then he starts telling God what he wants done to this person, what he wants God to do to this person. He says, appoint someone evil to oppose my enemies. He says, when he is tried, let him be found guilty. He says, may his children be fatherless and his wife a widow. It's basically saying, God, please kill him. And when you kill him, let his children even suffer. It says, may the creditor seize all he has, and that so that no one should extend any kindness to him, because that's the kind of person he was. He says, may the iniquity of his fathers be remembered before the Lord, and may the sin of his mother never be blotted out. He was really angry, and he wasn't just going not for him, but for his whole family and the way he lived. He says, take everything from him. He says, he found no pleasure in blessing, may it be far from him. And really, David was really, really angry. So when I was reading this initially, I was like, hang on a second, why is this in the Bible? Why is this reflecting such hatred to an enemy when we know that Jesus had said that we should we should show love to our enemies? But I remember, number one is that in this time of David, the rule was an eye for an eye. But so I suppose that would justify it in terms of how he cried out to God, but you still think, isn't that a bit far-fetched? But here's the thing that I noticed, what David did next, which is in verse 21. He says, but you, sovereign Lord, help me for your name's sake. Out of the goodness of your love, deliver me. So all of a sudden, he said all these things about his enemies, but he doesn't want to do anything about it. He's taking it all and leaving it in the hands of God. Verse 26, he cries out, he says, help me, Lord my God, and save me according to your unfailing love. Let them know that it is your hand, that you, Lord, have done it. So yes, David is angry, but here's what he's done. He hasn't gone and talked to anybody else, but he's gone and talked to God and God himself. And when talking to God, he hasn't minced his words. He's telling God exactly how he feels about that person. Listen, we get mad sometimes. We get angry. People hurt us so much. Don't go talk to anybody else about it and then talk in such a vile manner. No, it's not such vile, but such an angry manner. Talk to God. It's not wrong because it's in the Bible and David did it. But what David did not do, he did not bring it before God and then got up and went and did these things on his own. He left it before the throne of God. And that's why we always ought to do. Cry out to God and let him trust God to do what is right. Trust God to vindicate you. We don't sometimes, and we want to do it on our own. David is teaching us here that vent your anger to God and to God alone, and let him deal with it. Ahithophel, apparently, when Absalom, he saw that it wasn't going to work with Absalom, he went back home and hanged himself. So, that's interesting because Judas Iscariot also hanged himself. That's an interesting thing. But here's where I want to end. We get angry, we get mad, people hurt us, especially those who are closest to us. Speak to God, tell him exactly how you feel, but leave it all to God and let God be your vengeance. God bless you.